pretty cool. Now, I gotta tell you, I am actually certified as a gerbil midwife. Yes. Oh yeah. This means I can do breech gerbils, extra large gerbils. I am competent at gerbil stirrups, gerbil forceps, gerbil ultrasounds, gerbil swaddling clothes, gerbil mini diapers and wipes, and my specialty, underwater baby bathtub gerbil births and C-sections. But I had to go to work. So, left. Came back, 8 hours later, she's still at it. She pops out the 13th kid. 13 babies! Like, oh my God, what a woman.
Hello friends, welcome to Just a Couple of Guys. Well, today we welcome a very special guest for me to the podcast, although she is not a complete stranger, having made several cameo appearances over the course of the 3 years plus that we've been on the podcast. My wife, Diane Cullen. Good to have you here today.
Thanks, nice to be here. I can't wait to do this.
Well, and we're laughing only because we have someone as a guest today who we both, of course, know and has been on the show before, and that would be one Laurie Milbourn of St. Charles. Laurie,
right.
Laurie is a former student of mine going back several years, and as you and I have talked a bit, she's reinvented herself into a number of different venues along the way. And that's going to be kind of the thrust of our conversation today, leading up to the current job or jobs that she performs, and that's being as a comedian.
That's right. Laurie's lived in our neighborhood, and we've also spent a lot of time bumping into each other at community events over the years, because she's been, as you'll see, very involved in many community activities, and she is a person with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm. She likes to think outside of the box, so excited to hear what new things she's up to today and what new adventures she has going on, because she's always an interesting person to visit with.
If you recall, about a year and a half ago, we went down to the Comedy Vault in Batavia and had her on for the first time, and she talked about her budding comedy career at that point in time. Well, the reason we brought her back are for several reasons, and one of which is the fact that she brought her talents to Las Vegas, and was involved in some performances in Las Vegas. I saw this on Facebook. I thought we would bring her back. She's also going to be performing in St. Charles in October. We're going to talk all about that. Anyway, a great podcast coming up with Laurie Milbourn, and we'll get started on that after a word from one of our fine sponsors, so you stay tuned. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. Elgin Symphony Orchestra tickets are on sale now. From October through May, Chad Goodman leads the Elgin Symphony Orchestra in music of Gershwin, Beethoven, Mozart, and more. Plus an annual favorite, the Holiday Spectacular. Tickets start at just $20. Order yours online anytime at elginsymphony.org. Well, we're back, and as promised, our guest, the noble and fun, and back for a second time, I might add, Laurie Milbourn. And Laurie, first of all, it's a pleasure having you here with Diane and I today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you asking.
You know, like we've told people who come on a second or more times, you're certainly in a position to qualify for this gold jacket, which is a very prestigious award from Just a Couple of Guys. But
I like that color.
no one's received it yet, and Kevin's going to be talking one of these days with our producer about how they acquire one of those for the first time we award it. Anyway, enough set up on that.
Get on that.
You know, just to help most of our audience know that you are now a full-fledged and veteran comedian on the comic circuit here. But we're going to get to all of that. But just to refresh everybody's memories about was talking to Diane about this, and I said, this woman reinvents herself on a regular basis. And that's that's said as a compliment because, you know, we go back and, of course, I remember you as a high school student. And while we're talking about that, I read somewhere that you got involved in that St. Charles High School 50 years in women's sports.
Yes.
And because you were a cheerleader and also, am I correct, cross country?
Track, yes, track, because they didn't have girls cross country there. I did do cross country with another venue, but
That was a nice event to have, honoring 50 years of women's sports in St. Charles.
Yes, it was amazing. It really was. I hadn't heard about it first on, but then Ray Ann Payleitner, I think, was the one who started it, and it certainly had help from Rita and other people. And it was really amazing to come back to St. Charles and see all of the sports that have been added. They even have girls wrestling, and I was a wrestling cheerleader, but I didn't do the wrestling thing. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
You know, and one more thing before, you know, some might say, well, wait a minute, the cheerleader. I always made friends with the cheerleaders and the dance girls by saying the following in class in front of all the other athletes. I say, there's no question in my mind, but cheerleaders and dance troupe all are wonderful athletes, because of the work that has to go in to do all of the cheers and the dancing that goes on. It's just marvelous, and you are athletes.
Yes, I agree. We are. we are the hardest working athletes there.
Now, early on, you cut hair. You were in a hair salon.
I was a shampoo girl to start my career at Be Charming, which was a hair salon at the Hotel Baker. And then I went from shampooing to beauty school and got my license, my cosmetology license, which I still hold today.
So you could, theoretically, you could come over here and cut Diane's hair, cut
yes,
my hair.
Yes, I could, legally.
Legally,
Yes.
and we may have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But then it's well noted that for 13 or thereabout years, you ran a stained glass business. Talk a bit about that.
Oh yes, I loved that. That was so much fun. I started it because I had to stop my hair salon because it hurt my back. It was a lot of work. We were so busy, and we were voted best salon in the Fox Valley by Shaw Media way back then. So that was really cool, but it killed me. So I had to move on. And I started stained glass, and I loved it. And I did a lot of custom work for people's windows for their homes and everything. It was really fun. I didn't do a lot of tiny things. I know a lot of people make small stained glass, but I was more into the big picture.
And I always brag to people that you, this of course is because of what you got involved in. You were my first yoga instructor.
Yes, yes.
And did a good job on that. But why did you get involved in deciding to teach yoga? And then you had your own business for a while as well.
Yes, well, I knew that you needed a yoga teacher, so I was like, wow, this is what I'm going to do, you know. So he was a great student, okay? He was really great. No, for real. And I started doing yoga because my back was really hurting from doing hair, and standing in the salon all day was very hard. So I started to do yoga for my own back, and then again, once I realized that Ray needed help, I just studied even harder. But he showed up in class one day, and you know what? I have to tell you this. I've had two people who come in out of my whole, you know, everybody's like, you know, I'm not flexible and all that, but him and this other woman in a separate you know, place where I taught were so inflexible. And over time, it was a miracle to see the change in you. It was a miracle. And he went on to run marathon after marathon after marathon, and, you know, felt a lot better with all of his yoga.
Well, thank you for that, those kind words.
Yes.
You were a wonderful instructor, and of course, you went on and ran your own business. But say again, while you're doing all this, and I say this unabashedly because I was mayor for 8 years, and as I said offline here, probably more than 50% of the time that I cut a ribbon for a new business, you, ma'am, were there as a representative from the Chamber of Commerce.
Right.
You were involved, you've been involved in your community for a long time, and now I understand, even in the present day, you're an ambassador for the chamber.
Yes, I did a lot of work with the chamber before, and actually I was probably at 90% of the ribbon cuttings for a long time. There, probably
I'm telling you.
over 10 or 15 years. It was great fun, and then I did receive the LEAP Award, which is
Yes, you did. I was present that night.
Yes, yeah, and that's the high. And for those that don't know, it's the highest award a female can win for the Women's Business Council, which is leadership, excellence, achievement, and professionalism. Although this morning I was trying to remember what LEAP stood for. Like leadership, excellence, and I mean, what does the A stand for? Absence of brain? I don't know, but no, it's achievement and professionalism. So it was really fun because I mentored a lot of other women in business at the time, and it was really fun. So yes, I do, and so now I still get to be an ambassador because of my long time membership with the chamber.
That's very noble
Very
of you.
good. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Diane?
Yeah. So at some point, you decide that you're interested in pursuing an acting career. And I remember having a conversation with you many years ago where you told me that you had gotten hired, you were so excited, and you had to play a dead person on a train.
Oh.
Do you remember that
Or
conversation?
maybe, well, I was, my most coveted role was a dead person on Chicago PD.
That's right.
So,
was it on a train?
no, I was just laying on a rug.
Oh, on a rug. Okay. Excuse me.
Dead.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
So-
But maybe I got hit by a train. No,
Right.
no, I did get shot in Chicago. Such a surprise. But I was, I had a specific role that required someone to shoot me. So it was very fun, and I loved it. And
So
it was very fun. What other things? I've done a lot of commercials, really small parts, really small roles. I've done a couple of national commercials, which have been really fun, and they were pharmaceutical, both of them actually. And then up until COVID hit, and then things changed a little bit. Everything shut down, and then they got to the point where they were really requiring a lot of vaccines. I had been vaccinated, but that's all I just did, like one. So I'm probably probably going to hell, but but yeah. So I still do audition, but that's where I kind of got into our next thing that I've been doing, and because I was looking for something to do while I was waiting for the acting to open up, and now you can go get acting jobs without having all the requirements.
Oh, sure.
But at the time, nobody knew what was going on and everything.
Right,
So
that's right.
yeah, it was quite a.
Were you involved with theater in high school? And is that
No.
what prompted all this?
No, yes, so funny. I know. I'd like
I don't
to tell
recall
you.
you in any plays.
Yeah, I was the lead. You don't remember? So, no, I really didn't. But I always admired the
Sure.
people and everything, and how I always enjoyed the performances and everything. So I'm not really sure why I thought I should do it. But one summer at the yoga studio, going to my Happy Place Yoga, the tax laws changed in Chicago, and that's when everything started opening up. And it was in the summer, and traditionally fitness studios in the summer, this is not the highest point of attracting new membership during the summer. There's plenty of other times during the year. So I was sitting around being a little bit bored, and that's when it came out. They were asking for somebody who could be, they wanted somebody who could be a dance mom. And I thought, well, I've been in dance and performance for a long time, and when I actually called, though, they didn't really want a dance person, because I said, I don't really dance like the kids do these days. They wanted somebody who could move. They just wanted somebody to move, because I was supposed to get electrocuted. And so, I'm like, I'll do it. And I went down there. Now, my dad was an electrician, so I know how things go down when you get electrocuted. And I said, do you really want to do this, huh? So I did. And they said, oh, that was great. It was really great. So I left Chicago. I had never actually been outside of the boundaries of St. Charles. And I had driven all the way to Chicago and came back. They called me that afternoon, but not for the role of electrocuted woman. It was for the role. They asked me if I wanted to be a nurse on Chicago Fire. So I don't think they had med and all that other stuff then. So it was just Chicago Fire. So I'm like, great. So that's what really started it. So,
Okay,
yeah,
very good.
yeah,
So after all that, then you end up in comedy.
yes.
And you are local and regional comedy venues. And why don't you talk a little bit about how that got started?
How I started. Well, kind of what we were saying before. I had a little bit of a downtime during COVID, so I started to take classes, a couple classes online, and then when people got to go out of their homes into the world, I went over and I was at a place in Aurora, and eventually that place closed down. But I went up and did the stand up. It was really fun, and I liked it. And then I've studied with great teachers. You know how a great teacher can make a difference.
That's right.
That's
right.
Oh, well, you're a teacher too, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, really great information. And so you just really refine your, there's always another goal to reach. And
That's right.
Yeah. And so I just started doing it. It was really fun. I met a lot of great people. Comedians are really nice people. I have to say, they really are. So I've really enjoyed that part of it too.
Great.
I was going to say, I recall talking the last time we got together. We actually got together at the Comedy Vault, which you played that in Batavia. But I think I asked the question then. I'll ask it again. Any problems with the audience?
I just had my first audience problem last week.
I'm glad I asked the
know,
question.
it's so exciting. What do you do with hecklers? I'm not really that good at this guy. Usually it involves somebody who's drinking too much. And this guy came up, they were playing some walk-on music, so I was kind of dancing, waiting for the walk-on music to stop before I started. And this impaired person really came up really close to me, and you want to know what I did? Because you never know till you're there. It's always different. My brain went into Taekwondo.
I was just going to say, you are a four-time national. You're a four-time national black belt, are you not?
Yes.
Okay.
Black belt champion in Taekwondo. Yeah,
Yes.
for the United
I thought
States.
you'd bring that up.
Yeah, and I was like, this guy feels threatening. So I just stopped, and I was just staring him down, and I was waiting for his next move. But the venue, they got him off the stage,
Security.
and he was fine. He just sat down, and afterwards he came up and said he was sorry, which is fine. So other people have bigger
Otherwise, the
problems.
audience has been pretty good.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, we haven't. Yeah, really good. So I know other people have had other issues. So I don't want to say, I don't have any problems, because the second I say that, somebody's gonna.
Sure.
Now,
make a problem.
staying on this comedy theme for a second here, you've been performing now for a while, and so we're getting into some new territory here. It's my understanding that you are the founder of a group called the St. Charles Comedy Posse.
Yes.
All right. So what we want to know is who's involved in the Comedy Posse. It says St. Charles, so assuming you started with St. Charles residents, but you can talk about that.
Yeah.
And what are the goals and objectives of the posse?
Okay, the posse. Well, St. Charles Comedy Posse, it did start for exactly that. I've met comedians all over Chicagoland area, and I kept running into these same people who were from St. Charles, my hometown, and theirs too. So I kept saying, why don't we do a St. Charles thing? And they were, they were like, yeah, I would do it if you do it. And so it ended up, we did get together. I did put this group together. So there's 3 of us, and we do clean comedy. We do energized clean comedy for professional places, corporate businesses, or comedy venues. But depending on how...
So you're for hire, I guess.
Yes, we're for hire. Yes,
All right.
we're for hire. Yes. And I like to add in a couple of additional guest spots for people. Depending on what the venue is, I try to match the additional people to it. So we have our core base of people, but we are very happy to entertain you for your holiday parties or for your venues or whatever you've got
Do
going
you
on.
have either a website or some way of making contact? Our producer will be happy to put that right on the screen.
Put that right on
Oh,
there.
God, just tell us.
Oh, right. Well, right now you contact me. I don't have a website because I don't want to. No. But eventually, possibly. But what you can do now is just email me at lauriemilbourn@gmail.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, Laurie Milbourn Comedy. So that will so we're adding on as we go. It is new, but we've done, starting last year, we've done numerous shows, and we're just starting back up again this year because I had a little pause for a little while.
The idea of a St. Charles posse and the fact that you have this group and they could bring in guests now and then or whatever the case may be, I just have to ask this question. Is it a possibility? And I only ask, is it a possibility? Perhaps an audition would be necessary for this, but perhaps you could invite my regular partner on this podcast, Pat Crimmins, invite him to try out for the St. Charles Comedy Posse. I mean, you know Pat pretty well. The guy makes this podcast here sometimes a comedy hour. He tries to, and so I throw that out to you for whatever you can talk to the camera and suggest to Pat whether or not he might be interested.
I think Ray has a really good idea. Pat, if you're listening, I would love for you to audition for St. Charles Comedy Posse. I know you grew up on my street, and I've known you for years and years. And, if you've got something funny to say, I'd love to hear it. And what if you've got a spot? You could entertain the masses with all of your comedy.
And I can assure you, I'd buy season tickets.
Yes.
And maybe the podcast would as well.
Yes.
You can sell tickets. You can be on.
That's right.
Listen, we're going to take a small commercial break because one of our fine sponsors wants to tell the audience about their wares. But when we come back, we've got plenty more to talk about with our friend, Laurie Milbourn. You stay tuned. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina, and I want to introduce you to a great Fox Valley institution. Fox Valley Credit Union is a member-owned, nonprofit, cooperative financial institution dedicated to providing accessible and affordable financial services to the community with locations in Aurora and Oswego. Its services include savings, checking, debit cards, money market, IRAs, CDs, and more. It also offers mortgages, Visa credit cards, auto loans, and a variety of other financial services. For information on becoming a member, call Fox Valley Credit Union today at 630-859-2276 or visit them online at foxvalleycu.com. Well, we're back with Laurie Milbourn, and of course, while we had a break, we were laughing as usual. But on a serious note, and I tie this into two areas. First of all, you make yourself available to MC various events. Talk to our audience about that, and then I want to work into a specific event that you just recently were involved in. But
Okay.
you MC.
I do. I love to MC, whatever your event is, whether it's business or if it's a fun, team building event, or if it's
Would
anything.
you MC a birthday party?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Can you imagine that?
What kind of party? Well, I do private parties. I do unprivate parties. I do, whatever, really, I've had a lot of experience in front of directing people. So if you need your event led, whatever it is, I can do it, especially business.
Now, recently, you got involved and emceed and hosted and directed a lot of things with respect to the annual Project Mobility fundraiser. As a backdrop here, Hal Honeyman over at the Bike Rack, and Hal's also a former student, and I'm very proud of him, not only with his business, but the fact that a number of years ago he decided he was going to provide opportunities for disabled children with respect to bicycles and things of that nature that it could be adapted to their disability. And he has done that, and he's raised money over the course of years through running and so forth. And he continues to this day to do that and Hal, I'm proud of you. I appreciate what you do for this community, and thank you. Laurie, you were involved in the most recent fundraiser they had, the Long Table. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about that?
All right. Well, I did start with Project Mobility back several months ago. Tammy Honeyman called me. She has a married name now. Tammy Simmons called me. She is Hal's sister. She called me to MC their Let's Find the Queen 50-50 fundraising raffle that's held at the Squire Ale House owned by Bob Karras.
Sponsor, one of our fine sponsors.
Yes, and he's, we really appreciate being there. And it's really growing. The pot keeps growing. We just had a $7,600 pot that won jackpot, and the winner walks away with half of it. And the other half goes to Project Mobility, where, as Ray said, they built adaptive bikes for children with disabilities and wounded warriors. So what's great about it, each bike costs between $5,000 and $6,000. So they really need to fundraise quite a bit to provide these bikes for the children. And also, by the way, Tammy's daughter is also the director of the Project Mobility too, Catherine. And so the three of them have really done amazing work for people who get to ride. They build the bikes and the children get to ride them, who normally would never get to ride at all. So they get to watch their friends and family ride, and they haven't been able to. So it's a really rewarding experience. So I love emceeing for that, but also I did just MC for their one of their major events, which was the Long Table event. It was held behind the Graceful Ordinary. So it was one big long table. Everybody wore their summer whites. We raised money through raffles, like a traditional event. Right. And we also gave away 2 adaptive bikes there. So, and actually at the Squire Ale House, we've given away about 5 or 7 bikes there. Periodically, we'll give away a couple of the bikes during the raffle too. So it is very meaningful for everybody who attends, and they really like it. It was a beautiful event, and it just goes to help the wounded warriors and children with disabilities. So
very nice.
It's great. Yeah.
Diane?
Yeah. So after all of that, we're moving on in our comedy career.
Okay.
And you're stepping it up a bit. And somehow you end up in Vegas. Why don't you tell us about that?
Vegas. Yes. I love Vegas. Now, I've been there just a couple of times. But you know what? I went there for the Clean Comedy Challenge. And this is my 3rd year with that group. I've been to Rhode Island. I've been to, last year we performed in the Stardome Theater in Birmingham, Alabama, which is the largest theater in the South. Really, it's an amazing theater. And then this year we went to the 𝐂𝐻𝐻𝐻 Boutique Hotel, which is, it's a beautiful hotel in Las Vegas. It's not as huge as because it's a boutique hotel, but very, very nice. Michael Sinatra sings there, performs there, Frank's grandson, and other wonderful performers. But what the Clean Comedy Challenge is the clean comedy people come together. We have legendary comedians work with us, do workshops during the day, and then we get to perform in the showroom at night, which is really, really fun. So this year we had Jan Karam, Rich Natoli, who I think comes out here to the Arcata Theater, and Bob Nagy. I mean, these are really big names. And every year we have that Rich Little we work with, and plenty of other people. So it's really, it's a great experience, and also I get to network with other clean comedians. So you just build the network of clean comedians. Really nice, great
and maybe
people.
People don't know, but can you define what a clean comedian is?
Yes, going someplace and laughing without cringing. So that helps. Does that sound good? Yeah,
I think
it gives you the idea.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, we really like it.
Speaking of the Arcata, though, local venue, you've been worked at the Speakeasy up there, haven't you?
The Speakeasy, yes. As a comedian, I opened for Frank Rubino, who comes in there at the Club Arcata Speakeasy. So that is a really cool place. If you haven't been there, you got to try that too. But just really fun. And I've been at Comedyplex, Laugh Factory Chicago, have to read all my notes because I forget
Well,
where I
how
go.
about tell me about the Sandwich Opera House.
Oh, the Sandwich Opera House was really cool. It's way out in Sandwich.
Which, by the way, this week the Sandwich
Oh, the fair. Oh, the Sandwich Fair.
Right after Labor Day.
Oh, yeah. We should go there. Well, they refurbished this old opera house. Yeah, I want to go to the Sandwich Fair. I always wanted to go. And I might. No. And anyway, we went out there, or I went out there. Boy, it was far. And I opened for Angela. And I forgot her last name, starts with an H. It'll come to me. But she won like an America's talent contest, and she travels all over the United States also. So that was really fun. But the Sandwich Opera House, they refurbished the whole thing or renovated it, and it's just beautiful. So they have other shows there, and it's a little bit far away, but they definitely draw the audience. So.
Well, speaking of, and we wanted to build toward the big finish here. Speaking of big shows, and something that I think a lot of people in St. Charles appreciate, the fact that it's be at the Moonlight Theater in St. Charles on October 19th at 4:00 p.m. Boomer Broad's Comedy Show. Boomer Broad's Comedy
I
Show.
love the name.
Now,
Love it.
first of all, we need to know who the Boomer Broads are that are performing on this. A little bit about the kind of comedy we might expect, and then I understand that there's a special guest boomer that appears at this
Yes.
comedy show, and that guest boomer is you.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know you fit in that category of
Yeah.
a boomer, but welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Welcome to
Better
the club.
check my birth certificate.
Yeah.
That's probably a lie.
Let's talk about that now. We want to give that full exposure here. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Well, obviously Moonlight Theater, a beautiful place, and they've renovated that theater.
Oh,
and
my
it's
God,
just
yes.
gorgeous. Yeah. Boomer Broad's Comedy is founder and producer is Leslie Norris Townsend, who also is the founder and producer of the Clean Comedy Challenge. So I met her through there. And she and her dear friend, Michelle Krajewski, who's from the Chicagoland area, she's super funny too, they travel nationally. And they are coming to Chicago. Well, Chicago, we're doing another show on Friday night in Mundelein.
Is that right?
Yes, and but they come this way, and they also this particular time we are bringing along Jan Karam, who was also a judge for the one of the comedians for the Clean Comedy Challenge. You've seen her on Seinfeld, on the Tonight Show. So she will be there also. So it is Jan, Leslie, Michelle, and then yes, I'm the guest boomer. So
You're going to work your way in with the three of them. Then.
yeah, boy, that'd be fun.
You're not solo. You're working your way in. With
Oh yeah, definitely working with them. Yes, it's a fabulous show, and it's really funny, and it really appeals to a lot of people. Maybe the 19-year-olds wouldn't be interested, but
I was gonna say,
anybody else.
Is it boomer centric?
Yeah, kind of. But you know what? It really relates to. You don't have to be in that age category. You know people that are in that age category, and it really relates to. There's a lot of different types of comedy. It's really fun. I've seen all of these people, and they're hilarious, whether they were a boomer or not. They're really, really funny.
So, how long is the show? I mean, is there a intermission? And
Usually hour and a half show. So,
okay.
No intermission. Just keep going and.
Audience participation?
So it depends on the comedian. Yeah. Some people don't like to chit chat with the audience, and then some people do. So it just depends on the comedian.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your style? You chit chat?
Not so much. I might ask a question, get an answer, see what they say, but not like a whole big, 20-minute. Let's find out about the audience. Howie Mandel does a great job with that. So.
Can I assume that people who would be interested can acquire tickets at moonlighttheater.com?
Yes, absolutely.
moonlighttheater.com for tickets to Boomer Broad's Comedy Show. Once again, October 19th, that's a Sunday,
Yes.
4 p.m. And, it's over. You have your choice of all that fine St. Charles dining afterwards. So it's a late afternoon
that's right.
comedy show, and then we have dining. And you'll probably appear at one of the restaurants.
Yes, that's right. Right. I would just make my way through every restaurant in downtown.
Listen,
St.
a
Charles.
couple things to close up here. First of all, I need to ask this because it would be inappropriate not to ask the question of a comedian. Going back, and who's inspired you? Who are your favorite comedians? Male and female.
Male and female. Okay, for female, which is, there's less of us, I have really been liking Leanne Morgan, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard about her. She's going to be in Rockford. Really funny. She's got a new show on Netflix. Have you seen it?
I have.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Funny.
Yes,
Yeah, really
very
funny. And Kathleen Madigan, she's been around for quite some time too. She's, she's hilarious too. She's a Catholic girl, so you hear the funny Catholic stuff.
Boy.
Yeah. And then as far as the male, of course, everyone loves Jerry Seinfeld, but Sebastian Maniscalco.
Boy, he is
so
he
funny.
He
Yeah.
really is funny.
Yes, Jim Gaffigan, Nate Bargatze. So,
Yeah.
they're all leaning, just clean comedians. Everybody can listen to them, and they're really fun.
And last but not least, what's for Laurie Milbourn? What do you see being on the horizon here within the next 6 months to a year as we really move toward 2026?
I would say as we're promoting St. Charles Comedy Posse now, I'm really looking forward to working and with just in clubs or a corporate or wherever we find work. It's really fun entertaining people. So at this point in my life, I just would like to enjoy it and work as much as possible.
We can anticipate that the Comedy Posse will be in the area here at some point in time.
Yeah.
And you have a very active Facebook page that displays and promotes all of these different events. So Laurie Milbourn's Facebook page would certainly be another place to find out where she may be performing and or setting up shop. And don't forget the MC part, which we mentioned. And
Yes.
we want to say that again. Laurie, it's Laurie, Laurie.
Yes.
And then it's Milbourn, Milbourn,
Yes.
at gmail.com.
Yes. Or you can go to Laurie Milbourn Comedy at Instagram. But yes, all of the above.
In closing, I got to tell you this, and anytime I have a former student on, it's always appropriate for the teacher to say simply, "I'm proud of you."
Oh, thank you.
You not only comedy, etc., but Diane, I talked about you are a master at reinventing yourself, and that's said, very positively. I mean, I look at myself. I left the mayor's office and. I did some reinventing here, and I'm happy I did that. And I get along with our crafty cinematographer very well, and our producer, and sometimes with Pat. And but the fact is that you really have done just a variety of different things and have been good at all of that. So your teacher has to tell you that he's proud of you, and as I know Diane is as well.
Thank you.
And so. Thank you so much
Thank
for coming
you
on.
so much.
Just a couple of guys today.
Yes,
For your second
girl.
appearance, and we never know. You'll be probably back again at some point, working toward that gold.
Yes,
jacket.
I want the
Fingers
gold
crossed.
jacket.
That's right.
Yes, that's right. Maybe you can make a dress for me instead of a jacket. I want to wear a dress.
I was hoping you'd do a little shtick here before we, I was interested in the actually that when you said that one of your colleagues does a little Catholic stuff. I can only imagine the humor that may spill out.
Yes,
with
I
that
got
kind of
some
routine.
things. Yes,
I got some
I got some
things.
things
I'm sure
too,
Fish
yes.
on Friday probably comes up
Right,
at some point in time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
Laurie Milbourn, a fine comedian and ambassador in St. Charles, and just an all-around fine woman, and as we always say here on the show, someone you should know.
Right.
We're going to take a small break. Diane, I'll be back for some closing comments in a little bit. You stay tuned. Hello, friends. This is Ray Rogina. Are you looking for the place to be? Voted best live music and entertainment venue by the Daily Herald in 2023? That would be Old Republic in Elgin, an indoor-outdoor hub with classic American eats, beer, and cocktails, plus the best sports bar, burgers, wings, and ribs. Best value? Old Republic. Another good place to be. Well, we're back for some closing comments, and Diane, as advertised, she didn't miss a beat, and I felt that every time I asked her a question, she was kind of performing.
I think she's used to performing, it sounds like. Yeah, she's had a lot of opportunities throughout her life to show her personality in many different ways, whether it's yoga or comedian or acting. It's quite an interesting life she's led.
I was very humored. It gave me the opportunity to bring it in. I was very humored when we started talking to her about audiences and whether or not she's ever had any problem with the audience. And I thought her description of the one guy, and I had a chance to say, they didn't know you were a 4-time national black belt.
That's right.
You don't want to mess with this woman, and given those credentials. But apparently the guy didn't know that, and he did a small challenge, but then he backed away.
Oh, that's right. Well, looking at her, you wouldn't think that she has a black belt, so that would be a little bit, she's not intimidating in that way. In fact, I think she's really a pretty open, easy person to talk to. I think you'll see that today, that we saw that, and positive, and I'm just so happy for her and her life and all the different things she's been able to try and do, and she certainly is a role model for living a life, making sure you cross everything off the list you're interested in doing. She's had a lot of different interest over her life, and she's taking those things to heart. So I'm really happy for her, and she's a good role model for sure.
That is clear, and I am so happy that we can advertise the fact that not only is she creating a local comedy scene with her comedy posse, and by the way, you agree that and she made the pitch, but I think we're in complete agreement that Pat should try out.
Pat needs to try out for
Don't
sure.
you think so?
That's right. That's right.
I think he would be, of all the people in St. Charles I know that provide a little bit of humor now and then, he'd be the kind of guy that I think would fit in very nicely with that group. And I don't know if, I'm not sure, I think there's other males in there, so he wouldn't be a token male, but he certainly would,
Right.
he would bring some laughter, and he'd probably bring a crowd, Pat would bring a crowd of his own posse. He'd bring
That's
his own
right.
posse to the
Yeah,
so-
just a couple guys posse.
There you have it. So anyway, well, again, she'll be performing with the Boomer Broad comedy show in St. Charles at the Moonlight Theater, 2nd Avenue, St. Charles, on October 19th at 4 o'clock. So if you have a chance, you want to go to moonlighttheater.com and buy some tickets. So I think it's time for us to head out. We got a vacation coming up, so we got packing to do. So I think we should think about doing that. So let's close it out by saying, first of all, for our crafty, and I repeat, crafty cinematographer who is always on the ball. A little late today, but it was not a big deal really. Everything went smoothly, and that worked itself out. My guy, my friend, Kevin Ketchum. Thank you, sir, for job well done. And may I say to you, ma'am, that I really appreciated today your diligence, your enthusiasm, and probably most of all, your organization. I really appreciated all that you put into this hard work and having this come off very well. So thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate that. My wife, Diane Cullen. Ray Rogina wishing you all a very pleasant start to the month of September. It's still nice outside. The heat is abated. We're into time we're going to start watching those leaves turn some color. I'm looking outside and I can see that there's just a smattering of those leaves changing. And so we look forward to hopefully a fine autumn and with you and your families as we move toward the holiday season. Ray Rogan and just a couple of guys. We'll see you soon in our next podcast. So long, everyone.
Hey, the paparazzi follows me too, wherever I go. I can't stop them. I'm in Vegas, So are they. And I'm copying somebody else. Viva Las Vegas.